tournaments. Here we will be joined by me and to you, as well as Jag.
How's it going?
And we have a serious barn burner here today. We got DreamWorks versus Deviant. That can definitely be a very spicy one. Both of these teams have shown a lot of prowess over the past few days. You excited for this, Jag?
Oh, absolutely. DreamWorks is the defending champion, so they've got a lot that they're fighting for right now, trying to go 2 for 2. Deviant just came off a really, really close match in their first round, probably trying to show that they can really put that win away instead of having to go to map 5. So I think this is going to be a slobber knocker.
Yeah, slobber knocker definitely is a great way to describe it. But there's more slobber knockers going to be here tonight. One more game at 5 p.m. PST or 8 p.m. EST, hopefully, will be Dart versus Epic Imperium. And then tomorrow, we're going to have Eastlaws versus The Bank. And then after that, Bulging Pros versus Underscore. So a lot of fantastic matches these next 2 days.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Houston Eastlaws coming in, placing the Hanamura Hellhounds, so we're not really sure what they're about. But they're part of a big org. I'm sure they have a lot they want to prove to their sister teams. Bang coming off a first-round win. Another team we haven't seen so far is the Bolting Bros. Great name, even better logo in my opinion. They're going to be coming off feeding Underscore, who had an upset win in the first round, the only lower seed to win so far. And then Epoch Imperium versus Dirt. I think that's just going to be such a close match. I'm really excited to see it.
I can't believe you. I can't believe you said sister team when you were talking about the Eastlaws.
Why is that?
Because the main roster is called the In-Laws.
True.
Swiftly on there. But in case you guys are new to the system here, we got a little bit of a twist, and there it is in the hero band. These will be randomly picked hero bands that should spice up the gameplay, throw people for a loop. And we're gonna start out here with the tank bands. What are you hoping for here?
I mean, we were really hoping for Dive last time, so I'd love to see Winston enabled a little bit more.
Oh, that can be very impactful for how much both of these teams love Ryan Zarya.
Yes, absolutely. When we cast a Deviant, all they played was basically Ryan Zarya last time with a little bit of Diva thrown in, so I'm wondering how this will affect both teams going forward.
Yeah, affected that both of them should be. Next, we are actually, let's keep on that Zarya ban. Forget it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory at this point. Now we're gonna move on to the 2 DPS bans. There are some as you know, both teams have some very influential DPS players. Especially at this tier 3 level, and the Pug Stomper himself will be out of play. His Doomfist will not be seeing the light of day.
It's interesting. We saw a lot more Doom last time than I thought we would. He can be a great stall pick, or someone just kind of pops off at the right exact moment. I guess we're going to see a lot less Doom today. We're going to see no Doom today, so I'm excited to see who the next DPS pick is.
Yeah, definitely something you don't see every day. And as for the third DPS, there's a lot of room for a niche pick. The double Talon line getting taken out here, as Reaper will be the second DPS ban. These are some very influential bans, and what this is telling me is that they don't want any sustain here.
I think Reaper's great for Brawl, really getting into a backline and either trying to get a support or just kind of trying to break a shield at the front. So, Doom Reaper was meta for a while, and you're definitely not going to see any of that today. Without Zarya, I think we might see some more long-distance spam comps.
Yeah, so we might be going back into sustain hell. I mean, that's us saying if we weren't in sustain hell. Let's be real here.
We've been there for a while.
Ever since Goats, we've basically been there.
All right.
But now we're finally, support bans could fall flat on its face, or it could force us into the direction of maybe even Dive. And honestly, it's very possible Brig will be the support taken out of the pool. As you can know, those armor packs making it very difficult for many heroes to do meaningful damage. And Yeah, this is pretty good bands here.
Yeah, I agree. I think these bands are going to be much more influential than maybe some of the ones we've seen previously. Um, I think Brig, as you said, like really takes away from being able to dive. If you armor pack a Tracer or someone else who's in the back line, they have much more sustainability and survivability. But like I said, I think we're going to see a lot of long distance spam comps. Maybe some Orisa Orion, Hanzo, maybe double sniper. Who knows? But I'm really pumped for this match after seeing those bands.
Yeah, but definitely cross your fingers that we see some dive come out. But not to be a killjoy, like not to be a killjoy, but I feel like we're just gonna see them default to double shield.
Possibly. Double shield's been pretty popular right now, especially the Overwatch League bans. But these aren't Overwatch League bans, so I think we could see some more creativity and unique comps coming out tonight. Or I really hope so. We can still cross our fingers for dive.
I want to see Ball Widow. I want to see Ball Widow and Winston. I want to see some pure chaos here tonight.
I mean, if you get a good boop on anyone with pile drive, knock them up in the air, a Widow can headshot them pretty easily. So it's honestly not a bad idea. Ball Winston dive could be really good, especially with no Brig.
Yeah, let's get a Pharah in there.
Yeah, that's one of the heroes we didn't get to see last time, so that'd be great.
Yeah. Anyway, we are just about ready to start. The teams are just about getting ready, getting nice and comfy in the lobby before they are ready to incinerate them. I almost said incinerate themselves. Wow.
I hope they don't for their own sakes, but it could happen. Could crash and burn.
I mean, I don't know. Monsters in the lobby, so it could happen.
I think it's going to be a really interesting match. I think that, although obviously the DPS matchups are going to be really great, I think that we saw that frontline battle is so important. An over-aggressive main tank can kind of cost your team the whole fight. So the question is,
really about adaptation and adjustment on the fly. As both of these teams are going into territory, they're not really comfortable with meta-wise. So yeah, we might see them do some interesting stuff.
Really quickly, thank you Omega the Beautiful, Zesty Sam, and Mr. Nightwolf21 for the follow monetary donations to the stream, as well as PayPal donations via our email at tournaments@zonkesports.com. Feel free to contribute if you can.
Yeah, it's a fantastic cause that you will be working, helping us work towards. As you know, we're all in these tough times, so the most we could do here is do this tournament to raise money and just celebrate what we all enjoy, or not enjoy, which is Overwatch.
And the winning team
anyway,
where the money goes. But yeah, we're going to Lijiang.
Yep, and honestly, Lijiang, this is the, whatever you want to call it, this is the scrim heaven. This is where all the
happen, where if they have maybe a Junker or Mei, they're going to try to play the White Room, try to get some early picks there. But if we see maybe some more long distance comp, we're just
okay, well, interesting double shield coming out from the Deviant here, but we will go back to kind of the class pre-hero ban phase meta with the Rhine Diva on the side of DreamWorks. But I don't know, what do you think of Deviant's strategy here, the Sigma Rhine?
I think it's probably the least popular of the tank ups. Oh, here we go, Rhine Orisa. I think this is much better. You can get huge pull fire strikes. Both teams running Symmetra, which I think is really interesting. You usually don't see that on this point, but we'll see if they can get point control.
Okay. I wasn't gonna mention the Bastion because I didn't think Cookie would stick on it, but now he is running out of it. He is here to destroy. Alright, some pretty big TPs coming out. You can tell Deviant have prepared quite handsomely for the strategy. They are using both of their shields fairly early on though, so a lot of defensive utility not in there for. And you can already see the poke wars coming out. So far Deviant doing a very good job sustaining through the fights. A lot of that's due to Cookie just completely decimating the defensive utility of DreamWorks there. Monarch trying to make something happen, gets caught up by Wayward. And despite their valiant art, DreamWorks will not be able to make the dream work, and Deviant capture the point for.
Really interesting strategy, as you said. They definitely planned for this. really good way to split kind of, so you have the Arista shield on the high ground, but then you can keep your Rhine on point so you have that presence.
Do strats like, hey, you know what? This ain't meta, but you know what? It's gonna work. Oh, Danny almost getting cut out there, just barely escapes with his life there. And now DreamWorks, they're like, I have the high ground now. Oh, Donna almost getting cut out. And you can see the ring around the Rosie coming in for both teams. And this is bait. We're playing it like goats. Like, this takes me all the way back to 2019. Interestingly enough, we got the tank form coming in. Generally, you don't want that tank form because it has lower DPS, but you can make it work. Although slowly but surely, DreamWorks are starting to make their team work. Although Monster looks like he wants to shut that down right away as he decimates the front line for DreamWorks. And right now, it looks like a... Wow, interestingly enough, DreamWorks, they win the scrappy fight despite the immense amount of damage from Deviant.
Donkey made a huge play, kind of flanking from behind and being able to get that Bastion. As soon as Monster hit that shatter, the entire team moved forward with no one to protect the Bastion. He might do a lot of damage, but he's very vulnerable.
I'm a little confused about this pick from Kooky. Oh, that is a nasty shower from Monic. However, he doesn't have the HP to follow up on it. And a fantastic window from Danny. Manages to have Deviant kind of just live through the fight just with pure fragging power. And in no time, they get the point back.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a... Oh, Monster making a little bit of a mistake. Letting his shield get chunked down too much there. And then Deadeye from Donkey, just fantastically played. I was gonna say they should decide that they're gonna get out and hope for a better fight, but Monster, he doesn't want to go down without a fight. And, oh, hold up! How did Juice get 2 kills? Where is he? What? Okay.
It looks like someone might have tried to push DreamWorks as they, or not DreamWorks, Deviant as they were recovering. But you know, they were able to get those counterbaits. But honestly, a great stall. This is basically one fight territory at this point. If they can get those support ults out, it'll be a pretty even playing field.
Yeah, as long as Monster doesn't get overconfident and try and look for the money. You can see it. You can see the red in his eyes, and trust me, that's not just a hero model. Although, yeah, the blood in the water. He leaves his team wide open for Donkey to start throwing pot shots, as he finds 2. And so far, it's looking really good for DreamWorks there, as they just whittle down the defensive resources. Desperation, the sound barrier, Desperation Bongo comes out from Wayward. And I was talking about Monster making a mistake there. However, he takes out like 3 people in one hammer swing. I have not seen that before. And yeah, Deviant.
Charged with that Rhine swing, it just eats through people, and there's nothing that DreamWorks could do. But they're gonna look to take another point on this map, see if they can even
about open division, you know exactly what's coming. Yep, that's right, everybody. Double TP into the window.
Yeah, it's really gonna be a battle of who can position better and who has the abilities. I think Deviant might have the advantage here with that BAP. That lamp can absorb so much damage and keep your team alive in a fight.
All right, chat, let's get ready for the clown fiesta. Wait, are the TVs gonna come out? There we go. That's one from Deviant. And just a little bit late from DreamWorks there. However, Cookie on the Junkrat, in this unorganized state, he can actually take advantage of the disarray at DreamWorks right now. However, DreamWorks, they do the smart play, they back up a little bit and get a little organized. Although they had to force out a ton of defensive cooldowns. Like, I don't see them being able to sustain themselves through this fight, especially against the double shield. There we go. Cookie goes in and finds Donkey, and yeah, not even close there.
Pixel's getting the exit pick on to Cookie, but should be back in just the nick of time. It was really interesting because DreamWorks actually did switch to the BAP after running the Lucio, so they should have had the speed to get there first. I'm not sure if they misplaced where the teleporter was supposed to be or they couldn't set it up in time. But once Deviant had control of that point, I mean, it was basically a one fight, especially with that double shield. Way more damage to absorb there.
I can already tell this is going to be a great series because moving a resource is going down. Oh, that's a massive shout out from Monster once again. Monic leaving his team a little open once again. Oh, wow. Okay, you know what? I'm done.
That was perfectly timed. I thought he might try to explode that tire right as they put the lamp up, but Cookie waited patiently for it to go down, and boy, did it pay off.
A 5K tire.
Well, it was incredible. I also want to point out, while not shown in that specific fight, Ruka is getting so much value off of the sleep starts right now. Let's see if that can keep up.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but then again, you love to see it. DreamWorks decided to take a different route just so they have resources when they get the point. However, beautifully placed traps from Kuki stops Monaco dead in his tracks as he gets poked down even more, although that is a fairly big shout, especially taking out both of the supports. Although the Immortality Field already has done its damage, and this Clown Fiesta of a fight once again goes in favor of Deviant with turrets, monsters swinging into them, so much damage all over the place.
I don't think there's any way that Dreamers can get a full fight in here.
Shrek just managed to barely touch with that Immortality Field, and it looks like Monster's going through. However, Cookie doesn't want any of that, takes him out with that Riptire, and yeah, just right now, it's just clean up to fight. It's just a cleanup fight for Deviant, as DreamWorks already early on not making that teamwork. Yeah, okay. Very powerful start from Deviant there. I was not expecting that.
Well, I will say, great job. I think the double shield is just so much better than the Diva in this position because, especially when you already have point control, you can kind of just play around those shields as well as you're rotating them well. Eat is great. Eat did eat as enough damage as it did. It also ate a pulse bomb at one point, but at the end of the day, that Orisa shield is just so much better.
That is a masterpiece of a tire.
What a play. But I would not out DreamWorks just yet. I have played them, I've beaten them on control, and they come back roaring on the next 3 maps, so I still think it's anyone's game.
Yeah, definitely. You know how these series go. It's always the control map as well. Like remember the Toronto v Houston game? That happened last week, where Toronto rolled Houston on the first map, and then Houston just came back. Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of a reversal here. Because well, this time it's
Yeah, control is just such a interesting map type compared to the others. I think that it's really just back and forth. A huge advantage goes to whoever caps first. Honestly, that's just the name of the game. Not impossible to turn it around, but in this case, Deviant capped point first both times, and second point they were able to hold it the entire time. First one it went a little bit more back and forth, but they had great stalls to really make it one fight territory on first one. So I think that's just the biggest advantage they had.
Yeah, this especially goes for the fact that Deviant were running a very heavy sustain comp, where DreamWorks they swapped to a sustain heavy comp more at the end, but they were kind of still trying to go for the more rush heavy strategies with the Rhine Diva. Which a lot of those rush strategies they don't work without the Zarya, as Zarya's not able to eat those like very important cooldowns, and like although the Diva's great for eating also eating cooldowns, she's not able to provide as much damage and as much presence in the front line. Yeah, the only thing you would use her for at that point would be peeling for your backline, and the comp that Deviant have, like they don't need to dive anyone. They just need to sit down, to sit on point, press a few E's, and call it a day.
Absolutely, and let Monster kind of just go in and destroy everyone. Really quickly, thanks Weaver for Prez for the follow. But just going off of that, what do you think we're gonna see here in map 2?
Honestly, I think DreamWorks, they're going to see the lights, and they're either going to go Orisa Sig, or they're going to go to the Orisa Rhine like the Deviant are running here. However, there's a chance that they might try and still get their other comps to work. However, if Deviant decides to opt into more a mobile playstyle, then it could... their Rhine Diva could actually work a lot better this time. But a lot of this depends on how Deviant is going to adapt to the situation.
I totally agree. I think it's much harder to play Rhine, just Rhine without an Orisa or Sigma, without a Lucio. The reasoning for that is really you need that speed to get in and out of places. When you have the Orisa, you kind of just sit in one places we've talked about. So that double main heals comp that we saw come out from Ruka and Danny with the Ana and Bap, it's fine that they don't have that speed or that defensive ult really, because they have the lamp. And they have these abilities that will really help them stay alive beyond just lamp. Nano is great for helping someone who's weak. Anti is great for enabling aggression or sustaining heals. Bap's shift heals are really, really good. So I think DreamWorks came in and they were trying to run other comps, and then they tried to do a little bit of a mirror without the Orisa, and it just didn't.
Well, that is a bold statement, calling calling BAP and Ana both main supports. That's pretty tough, pretty hot take there.
As a flex support, I mean, that's the position I play. I feel like the roles can be a little bit skewed. I do think Ana is more of a flex support, and I would say BAP is more of a main support.
But only flex support, player's player.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Just
not,
like how Lucio is an off support, but only main support players play him.
Exactly. So in the Lucio Ana comp, I would say Ana is more the main heals because she's the one who's doing most of it. Lucio, that situation is a little bit more for his utility, his boops, his speed, his defensive ult. But in this case, there's just so much healing going on. It's kind of the part of what I was trying to get at. So much more than you'd see in maybe a Lucio BAP, Lucio Ana, Zen BAP, etc., etc. Because of that, they just take point, and then they're like, you can't kill us. Nothing can kill us. And that's how it's been so far.
Yep, nothing can kill them except the exact same thing in a lot of cases. So a lot of this, I was talking about Deviant adapting, but honestly, that's probably the main problem for DreamWorks as well. I feel like they're just making the incorrect adaptions here. Like yeah, the Mei is definitely great if you go early on, or what's called yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Like if they take the point early and they have the Mei, they're definitely going to be able to control a lot of that space. And if they go and even if they go on the open, like there's a lot of like great choke point places in the open on a night market that take advantage of the wall.
Yeah.
However, they decide to go all the way around coast instead. So not really taking the most out of their comp.
I was really surprised we didn't see Mei on Control Center, honestly. Her wall can be so necessary for that first fight win. Instead we saw the Bastion comp, which is kind of rolled over DreamWorks. They definitely were not prepared for that. Again, I mean, my weakest point for them so far is the D.Va. The biggest reason why, beyond just like shields and, only having the 8 for a little bit, is that there isn't as much synergy you can have between the tanks. A lot of the times the D.Va kind of goes off and bullies people, as you said, or peels for the supports if there's someone in the back line. The only real combo I can think of is maybe the Rhine charging into the other Rhine and then a bomb going over the top, but you don't see that very often.
All right. Now, enough of that aside, we are going to be heading into Voskai here as our assault map. Viewers just joining us, Deviant. It's going to be up 1. It's going to be up 1-0. However, DreamWorks, they're going to be looking to come back into the series all fired up. What do you expect to see here from them?
Well, expect DreamWorks to be able to adapt this TAF. I mean, they are the first seed for a reason. They are the defending champions for a reason. I think they're going to try to do a counter comp instead of maybe a mirror. Try to force the weak Deviant comp and see if they can take advantage of that.
Already major changes we are seeing from the DreamWorks here, as they're going to be running the Risa Sigma, so that classic double shield, in addition with the Pharah Soldier. Well, what do you?
I think it's a better offensive strat, and could work, but you got to remember that Deviant, even if they don't have a hit scan now, they have spawned so close, very easy for them to switch to a double hit scan comp.
Yeah, definitely that whole adaptation game coming back in. Interestingly enough, Cookie's going to be rolling off the bat with the Junkrat, and well, this is the good old El Clasico we're seeing here. Oh no, it's a baited swap coming in from the Defiant here as they rush down mid, and you can tell DreamWorks, they're like, hey, wait a minute, I thought you guys were going coast. What happened there? Oh, Monster Gang fairly low though. Immortality Field having to get forced out pretty early. Definitely a problem for them, especially when they get into the whole brawl fight. Monster Gang just goes in expecting for the best, but yeah, the rest of Deviant just gets slowly picked off by Pixel's Pharah.
Oh yeah, that Pharah rolled that fight with no direct counter. You really have two choices. You run into the enemy team and hope you can kill them long enough that the Pharah is important, or the Pharah just kills you. Really interesting teleport spot. Not sure exactly what went wrong there, but here we are, double hit scan, just as I thought it would be. So now that Pharah is gonna have a really hard time getting as much value.
Yeah, you can see the Pharah is combined to that kind of robot high ground there. However, he's still able to put in some decent poke against the Deviant comp, almost taking Juice out of the fight once again. However, you can kind of see him slowly snaking around. Although Donkey wins the long-range duel against Juice, and all of that damage gone, it's going to be very hard for Deviant to recover from, as once again, they are heading for the hills.
What is Cookie doing right now? He is all the way in their backline, going towards their spawn. He might be trying to set up for a flank, but it looks like Donkey might be aware. This is a really interesting scenario. I think this is actually where the double hills. Oh, no, that's a very big stagger on himself. I think this is where the double hills might actually be a detriment. It is so hard to take that space right now without that Lucio. I really hope that they're able to figure out that they need to switch off to be able to either take the high ground and try to work their way around the point to keep pushing through choke, because they're just going to keep getting mowed down.
You know, I was confused for a second why you said double hills, but you said double heels. But however, it might as well be double hills, because you want to hold that space. That is a nasty flux and a great adaptation from DreamWorks there. And yeah, there's nothing Deviant can do about that. They just need to get the hell out of there once more.
Yeah, really unlucky for Deviant because they had used their lamp a little bit early. Don't think they were anticipating the flux just there. I think they were trying to mitigate some of that damage. It's such a great counter, but you have to time it so well, right before you land, basically, to make sure that no one died. In that case, it just wasn't meant to be. And look at the ult economy that DreamWorks has.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a lapse in the Deviant's ultra economy there. However, once again, they're going straight back in, trying to brute force their way through the left choke. Although they get decent damage into the tanks. However, once again, they have no answer for Pixels here. It looks like Cookie's kind of had enough and decided to go dueling him. However, he's kind of nowhere to be seen. Is he just coming back from spawn?
Looks like.
I don't know. Where is Cookie?
He's on there.
Oh, he's going for the big flank once again. However, this might turn out to be a massive throw. Although that pick is immediately that res just barely not happening. And you can see all the multiple angles from the Deviant trying to suffocate DreamWorks into submission. Cookie winning that 1v1 duel. No, DreamWorks, they still have a very good chance of winning this map. So back and forth. However, in this case, the attack respawn is so close where it doesn't even matter that DreamWorks had like 3 people alive there. Donkey, not much he could do, has retreat on the platform.
That was a very wild back and forth fight. Honestly, it looks like it could go anywhere. But Cookie making some big hero plays, taking out the soldier and denying the res with boot. Now they switched to a comp that seems to be doing a lot better with the Mirror Pharmacy and the Widow to take care of the fire as well. But DreamWorks shouldn't be that worried because they're going to have the ult for quite a while.
Yeah, DreamWorks, they're definitely hoping to hold on to point B here. They got all of the tools ready. It looks like no one's identified Pixel's location as he goes in for a massive barrage. Although it finds 2, Juice is quick to refrag onto him. But this is something that Deviant can't push into him. They have to head back once again.
No, but if you're Deviant, that's honestly a good fight for you. You didn't use that much, and you got both DPS ults out. Pixels had great positioning for that barrage, sitting up top waiting for the push in. I'm not sure what Donkey saw there. I'm not sure there's a miscommunication or what, but that ult was not needed in that scenario.
I mean, like, to be real though, is a soldier ult really gonna do anything?
Maybe not always, but honestly, it can be a fight winner.
Well, honestly, actually, I just realized, Deviant's still on the pharmacy. Big Flux is coming in on both sides, although there's a ton of damage done to everyone on Deviant. And once again, this fight's kind of devolving into a clown fiesta, and we all know that Deviant, they thrive in these chaotic situations. You can see Juice and Monster just getting massive value here. Is Cookie just ranning in all the damage? Like, it's so hard. Yeah, that is massive.
They're gonna get at least.
Yeah, if that didn't happen, DreamWorks would have gotten quite a few more people on. However, there's no chance that Deviant can get that DreamWorks can get a proper fight in here. All they really have is Donkey and Adel on the Yana there. Although, Monic once again is back on the ball here. Just looking to buy more time, hopefully push it into under 1 minute for his team. And at that point, that's your goal for DreamWorks, just get it under 1 minute. However, it looks like they will not be able to accomplish that goal. That's gonna sting.
Talked about adapting, and wow, what an adaptation by the Deviant. They were so close to getting full health on that first point, and then they were just able to roll within 3 fights basically and get full cap. I think that Widow play from Juice is really good, but it just seems like even though DreamWorks had that ultimate advantage, they didn't really know how to properly use it.
Yeah, definitely some sloppy late round play from the DreamWorks, definitely costing them. Even though overall their hold was fairly solid.
Absolutely.
Well,
Still only 1 minute on the clock for Deviant, and for all we know, DreamWorks could, be able to get a 4-minute cap and really have that time advantage.
Although, if there's anywhere in this, if there's any point in the series where it gets a little too over aggressive, a little too risky, and DreamWorks should be able to capitalize on it. Although, if DreamWorks fans, you can't really guarantee that though, as they've been taking utmost precautions to make sure any of that doesn't happen. Also, Monsters on Sigma.
Yeah, can't be as aggressive on Sigma. Also, I think Wayward and Monster have had great synergy so far. Wayward's Orisa, honestly, a unsung hero so far. Those pull combos have been huge with pull Barrage, pull Fire Strike, pull Rock. But interesting split comp right now. Really,
Yeah, a lot of times when we think about Orisa, you kind of just have to hold down press E occasionally, but don't worry, you have to eventually press right to click as well. Already Deviant has forced off the low ground, and it looks like DreamWorks wants to get nice and brawly with this. And see, they want to close the distance right away, and there we go, Monster getting caught out as the first one, as we all suspected. And DreamWorks, like, you can tell the points just opened wide up for them, although they need to be very wary of Juice and Ruka. You can tell all of the multiple angles that they are getting fired in from. Although, taking out Ruka means that there's a lot of sustain that's not there for the Deviant anymore, and they should be able to slowly win this fight. However, Cookie is doing his best to make sure that doesn't happen, taking out the Mercy, leaving it, and once again, both sides only have one healer. However, Cookie taking out Ado is going to strongly shift that in favor of the Deviant, unless the members of DreamWorks can get back with their quick response. However, looks like just overall, the picks coming back from Deviants should be so much more convincing than those coming in from DreamWorks there. And I can't really say anything yet, because both teams are...
It's so close.
Yeah, it's so close, such a brawly fight. They even used the Flux to take out Monster quickly, although the follow-up isn't really there. As yeah, the members of Deviant are out.
Wow, an incredibly close fight. Even though Monster goes down first, it just seems like DreamWorks wasn't able to capitalize on it, and that's the strength of Orisa, honestly. She is very, very hard to kill. Now Juice is off the Widow to the Soldier to get back faster. We'll see if that has any impact, because that Widow's been doing a lot of work so far.
Yeah, both sides using a hefty amount of cooldowns. That Flux finds alright value, but overall... Actually, yeah, that Flux was pretty good from... who is it? It was Monster's Flux. Yep, there we go.
Even though the Flux itself didn't get kills, the team is able to follow up on them really well.
Yeah.
And it looks like ult economies are pretty similar right now, though Pixels does have that barrage coming up that could be huge if they're able to pocket him. Maybe even throw the nano on there to really secure those kills. It's gonna be
Yeah, I would keep my eye on Pixels here. He's gonna be looking to get super aggro with this. He wants none of this hold. They can tell they really want this higher time bank here.
Yeah.
So far he's just poking. He's not getting anything risky here. He's just looking for the perfect opportunity. As the rest of DreamWorks finally make it to the high grounds. However, it's not going to be enough, Anakin, as Kooky. Big barrages on both sides. But the key difference is that Deviant was already winning that fight. So realistically, Pixel shouldn't have used that barrage there. And overall, he just fed that ult advantage.
Yeah, and Donkey also used his visor. I'm not sure if he got slept or rocked out of it. Some sort of CC hit him, and he was immediately destroyed by the nanoed Pharah. Coming into this, all they have is Bongo. This is last fight, basically. But, we might see a Flux for Monster if he can build it, but we're definitely going to see Bongo visor. I mean, it's not looking good right now for DreamWorks.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all here. I'm surprised they didn't even swap, like, make any other adaptation. They're still gonna try and get this run. Ruka, of all people, getting the finishing blow against Monic, and then a massive Flux from Monster as well. Yeah, there's not much else. You're gonna need a miracle, not a dream, if you want DreamWorks to get out of this one alive.
Deviant, look so good so far. Full holding first point here. Winning 2 points on Lee Jong without giving up a point at all. They are just really good at adapting so far. they've seen, okay, this isn't working. And although they did stay on that comp a little bit longer than I would have preferred, they were able to make that last second switch on offense and really just kind of roll for the rest of the time. DreamWorks are a bit stubborn with their comps, it seems. They kind of have one set plan maybe, and when that doesn't work out, they're not really sure what to do. I still don't think they're out of it just yet. I have faith that maybe they could take a map or two and make this a series, but props to Deviant so far. Incredible play.
Yeah, DreamWorks are kind of gonna have to sit down with their They're gonna have to sit down with their coaches or their IGLs or their IGL or whoever's kind of leading them right now. You gotta sit down and discuss. Okay, what are we doing wrong? Because I feel like honestly that's what they need right now. They just need to sit down, analyze the situation, and then they'll be able to get back into this series. Because right now they just seem to be lost. They're just trying to bash their head against this brick wall that is the Defiance comp.
It seems that this might just not be their meta. It seems like they're really struggling right now. Maybe they had some planned comps based around some of the heroes they can't play, which is really unfortunate. But in a tournament like this, you got to expect the unexpected. And right now, the unexpected is Deviant being up 2-0 in this series. But we'll see if DreamWorks can kind of make claim of their title and try to defend it better than they have so far.
Yeah, definitely a lot of unexpected things coming out here. However, what is not the unexpected is the next map type. We're going to go into hybrid. And honestly, this is the map type where DreamWorks have a very good chance of coming back on. What do you think they're going to run to adapt here? Whether it's King's Row, Numbani, or what have you?
Well, it really depends on the map type. I would love to see Numbani, even though I'm not a fan of playing on it, just because I personally don't like playing dive, but I'd love to see a dive comp come out. We've already seen the Deviant play a Bastion comp, so I think you'd kind of expect that going in if they're on defense first. If it is Hollywood, you can expect kind of more of what we've seen so far, some poke comps that maybe involve brawl if they get really close in like the tango. Is the other map Hollywood? Is that the other option?
No, the other the other option I'm pretty sure is Hollywood. However, none of that matters as we're gonna go to the Scrim Paradise itself. Stay with me. Good old Scrims row here. Once again. Yeah, I am so surprised. I had no idea King's Row was gonna come out.
So yeah, I think you could see some brawl, but I've already seen the Deviant pull out the Bastion Symmetra strat once, and there is a really good strat on first point that you can take in a second point here. So we'll see if that busts it out to try to put this series away. DreamWorks really on the ropes right now, so they're gonna have to come up with something creative. It seems that their biggest problem so far is just not using alts in the right order, as well as not really being able to adjust to what they're facing. One of them is a little bit more fixable than the other right now. Even if you have the worst team comp, if you have the better alt economy, you can win that. So see if they can get their order together and use alts properly.
Yep, we're gonna start here back on King's Row. Very interesting stuff coming out. Usually you expect to see the good old Ryan Zarya, as you would see in classic Scrim fashion. However, today we are not going to be gifted with such comps, as Zarya is out of the pool. Now, if you guys don't have it, if you guys have forgot at this point, so for the bans right now are Zarya, Doomfist, Reaper, and Brig.
Absolutely. And another reminder that this is the charity COVID-19 tournament presented by Onomatopoeia. If you would like to donate, we'd love to have you be a part of this. You will take donations by bits, monetary donations to the stream, or PayPal donations via tournaments@zonkesports.com. Now, looking at these comps, really interesting. Running the BAP Zen, both, so we're gonna see a little bit more shield break here, a little bit less just poking.
I think Wayward and Juice are trolling us here. There's no way they run with the Monkey Sigma. Like, what even is a Monkey Sigma? Like, what even is that? Look, you can see Wayward going back. Not Flying Fortress, Mobile Fortress over here. Although a lot of their shields already taken out of the fray very quickly. They just dive. Okay, that's a dive. I don't care what you say. They just dove into DreamWorks backline right there and causing complete chaos. However, Cookie Gang taken out early on means that a lot of damage is absent. However, you still got a ton of damage in that Symmetra, but with Monster going down, you lose that overall sustained aspect of that double shield comp. And DreamWorks, they do a fantastic job at adapting to that crazy first point strategy.
I wonder if you're listening to the stream and heard my prediction, because they definitely saw that Bastion comp coming. A lot of people on the high ground. Donkey just sharpshooting. Already has his high nail.
Can we talk about that? Hey, hold up. Who on Deviant here is stream sniping? Come on, man. Like you're listening to us trying to get free coaching? Nah, we don't have it. We don't take any of that. Anyway, Deviant here, they're gonna be going down through a hotel. A lot of important cooldowns popped. How does that massive sleep from Ruka to deny the Deadeye. However, this is still a very winnable fight for both teams, as all of them have very important sustainabilities. Although Wayward managed to find Adol off in the distance with the help of that window. Although fantastic ult usage from DreamWorks. Okay, I don't know about that flux though. But besides that, fantastic ult usage from DreamWorks helps them retake the point without even giving up a tick.
Absolutely. Changed comp comes out from Deviant, but they're just still building ults at this point. Ruka have a huge sleep. I'm just gonna call it here. Ruka's my pick for MVP if Deviant can put this away eventually. But so far they're still building up. Monster once again being caught out a little bit. Gotta be really careful with that shield rotation to make sure that when your shield is down and you use your suck, that there's another way to defend yourself.
A massive splitting wall coming up here. I thought we were playing Valorant for a second with these insane walls here. And Monster just kind of goes in and just brawls out. Yeah, there's not much you can do about that. Just massive cooldowns being popped. The Monster just right in your face. This is a clean fight for Deviant.
Absolutely. I don't know if you saw this, but a great play to kill Donkey. They slept him, then teleported all the way up to him, then teleported back down to avoid the flashbang, and they were able to get the kill with an anti. Great ult economy
that's not even 2 billion IQ. That's just 3D underwater Mahjong right there. Anyway, all of these cooldowns being popped. That bungle might be okay for DreamWorks there. However, losing pixels means that once again they're gonna be absent a ton of damage, and their supports are kind of just left to dry as Tango and Monarch they go to capitalize. Although they do manage to take out Monster, and like once again, you can see the Deviants, they just don't know how to die. They ain't stopping for anything here. Once again, Bungle comes out, they try and stay in the fight. Although Danny Gang taken out means that once again, and I don't know how many times I've said this series here, the other team has a lot less sustain now on the board. Which, well, even though Deviant will continue to take space, they're not going to be able to survive an actual fight until Danny finally gets back. And then you have the Flux coming out here as well. No, that's a Flux from Monster. He takes that all the way around town. Our Tango takes his opportunity of Juice guy being left out in the open. Takes two. Although Cookie taking out Tango is a massive pick, it doesn't look like, you know, oh my god. How back and forth can this be? Look, the Haunted are just fragging out at this point.
So I wanna point to one moment in that fight where Monster once again tries to solo carry, goes after Pixels, gets Pixels, but the whole team of DreamWorks kind of focuses on him, calls him out, and even though that went back and forth and so many ults and abilities were used, at the end of the day, DreamWorks was able to that fight, they were able to regroup, and now we're gonna finally get a 66.
Yeah, back at it again with full power on both sides. Although a lot of important cooldowns and ults was taken out of DreamWorks there. So if you're Deviant, you're actually like rubbing your palms together. Although you're not rubbing your palms at that big fire strike kill, and especially Danny going down means that Deviant can't really get anything done with it. Monarch's trying to keep them in the fight though, so they can continue to just whittle down at them, and they do manage to catch out Wayward, and it looks like they'll get Monster here as well. As yeah, once again, another successful fight for the DreamWorks.
I think Juice needs to switch now. That sim is just not going to get as much value anymore. And we, for the first time, see DreamWorks adapting that Orisa Rhine, and that pull Fire Strike Wave Square, it's like an insta-kill on Squishies. So far, they're, well, almost running into each other, but, oh, and Monster already down.
Yeah, once again, you can tell just all of the poke coming out of DreamWorks, it's just giving Deviant so much trouble. Even though some of them are being misplaced a bit. Oh, Donkey. Oh, okay. He found that opportunity and he took it. Just threads the needle on the cookie bread. And once again, taking out Ruka. You can just tell, so many, they're exploiting all of the gaps being left in Deviant's line right now.
And Deviant are just staggering themselves. I mean, in that situation, you just gotta die. You gotta die as quickly as possible. That fight was over the minute Monster died, and they probably burned another 20 seconds on the clock. They only have 30 seconds going into this fight, and while they do have a slight ult advantage, I would say, they'll probably get Square really quickly. I mean, it's gonna be really hard to take this point.
That was almost a beautiful whole dragon combo coming in from the Deviant there. Just barely doesn't find anything. What does find value was that shatter from Monster, as once again he does his best to carry the fight. Although Pixels, it's gonna make, yeah, he's not gonna win the fight overall, but he's gonna make it difficult for Deviant to push up and make any progress. However, it looks, no, you can see Monster is just, excuse me, you can see Monster is just glued to the car right now.
But look at DreamWorks, 5 ults coming into this fight, only using the Transcendence in the last one. 3 ults on the side, and here we go with Square, but it's gonna be really, really close. It's basically see who's gonna pop ults first and be able to do it more efficiently.
Yeah, you can see DreamWorks huddled around the corner there. They're looking to jump in right for the brawl. Our Monster taking advantage of the Clown Fiesta and goes in and gets all the solo frags. You can tell he's adding that one to the montage.
Oh, absolutely. A great play for Monster. You know, when his team is able to enable him, he goes in and he gets kills. Really, when he gets split and there's no one there to protect him, that's when things sort of fall apart. But they went in, and now they both only have 2 ults, so DreamWorks, once again, not being able to execute despite having the ult advantage.
Yeah, and right now both sides are fairly even with the ults. Actually, they're literally mirrored in the ults, with both of them having Ryan and Kree. Zonky, he tries to buy some time for his team with that Deadeye, and they managed to force out Immortality in the meantime as well. Oh, that's a nasty shatter from Tango. He's like, hey, you know what? You want a high Relio? I get one too. Ain't nobody denying me.
Oh yeah, Tango saw Monster and he's like, I'll one-up you any day. A great shatter, only ult really used in that fight except for the High Noon. Didn't get any kills, but as we said, they were able to get the Deadeye out, which was super important in winning that fight. It's gonna be really hard for them though. They're not gonna have any ults going into this fight, and looks like there will be maybe 2, maybe 3. Here's the High Noon.
Yeah, this just nice a ton of space for DreamWorks there. However, still a very, you know, I should stop opening my mouth. I said it was a very winnable situation. Not anymore. Although Monster getting taken now does leave some room for DreamWorks. However, Tango's out as well, and you can tell Wayward's just doing his best to be the solo tank for them, doing a fantastic job. All that can stop is Addo stalling a little bit with that Transcendence there. As the rest of Deviant, they. In a valiant effort, they try to contest the point. They actually do manage to take Ruka out of the fight, although it's just not going to be enough, as Juice doing a fantastic job with the cleanup, and Deviant will complete King's Row.
Really, really close map. Probably the closest we've seen so far. Getting it all the way down to the wire, but being able to cap for Deviant is so super important if this goes to extra rounds. DreamWorks though, looking really, really good compared to how they have in the previous 2 maps, looking much more put together. That Rhinoris they have is doing pretty good work, but again, using ults not quick enough and maybe not using them when they should be. Really cost them at the end. They had no ults going into that last fight. They got Trance a little bit late, and although it was able to solve the point for a little bit, in the end, still couldn't deny the cap.
Yeah, you can tell Deviant you can tell that they're being a lot smarter with their ult decision-wise. Even though you look at a lot of the plays Monster's making, like, you sure these teams are playing? You sure he's playing smarter? Yes, they're playing a lot smarter right now. Although, like I said, Deviant is still not out of the fight yet. And also, okay, what is this? But both teams memeing with the Winston right off the bat.
Well, Winston can be good if you have a sniper on high ground just to have that bubble so they're not able to be taken out. But once again, we have the Bastion come out for Deviant.
You all look like you needed some healing.
They're not playing it on high ground, which I think is so interesting, playing in that back corner.
I mean, you can do that with Sigma as well.
True, you can do it with Sigma Shield.
Alright, looks like we're not going to see Sigma come out for the DreamWorks here. So we're going to go a classic Ryan Orisa here. However, it looks like, interestingly enough, Deviant's going to be setting up on the low ground here with that Bastion. However, it doesn't even matter. Juice points in their general direction. It finds Donkey. Although that pick, just to get res, overall, they're doing a fantastic job just kind of poking down DreamWorks as they force a massive rotate from them to the high ground. Although, this is pretty bad for them, as Cookie is just able to reign supreme into them. Like, there's so many angles for them to get poked down. They can't do anything about this. You get that Tangle Shield already taken now, and they try to go for another rotate, this time through the house up to the high ground. And you can tell, Deviant, they're like, you want to rotate? Okay, we'll just rotate over here. You can't get us. You can see the cogs just moving around the DreamWorks as they're more like the Brainworks right here. They're trying, you can hear them chugging down. They want to drop onto the Deviant here as they force them to rotate once again. As Deviant are now on the attacking side of the point. Just a whole ring around the Rosie here. DreamWorks, they're kind of just stuck in the window.
This isn't even a poke fight. This is just literally just like ring around the Rosie right now. Monster once again maybe going a little bit too far, but doesn't seem to be too punished for it. I mean, I think both teams are rotating amazingly right now. Pixels and Cookie both about to get the barrage, and Pixels has the nano.
Yeah, it's pretty comical engagement here. Although Pixels getting picked off early there is a bit problematic for them. As Cookie Bread finds 3, and that is a massive pick-off, especially with how long DreamWorks took to have that fight play out. That is a disaster.
They only have 2 minutes left, and that's only after 1 fight. I mean, the rotation was sound. They were basically trying to get underneath them and maybe pull someone out of position. But without that Lucio speed, that's really hard to do in a good amount of time. They were able to get the barrage online, they were able to get the nano online, but with that Sigma Eat, really hard to execute perfectly. And although they got 1, Cookie's like, you know what? I see your barrage, and I will triple it.
Yep. Deviant's still sitting high with these, with the amount of defensive utility they got here. You can see Wayward just shield overall, just a massive shield factory over here. However, Deviant, they do get caught in opposition, and DreamWorks just rushing the setup right now. Once again, we're down to the whole Clown Fiesta, and this time DreamWorks is coming out on top here as they win the shield game and they win the overall. They press W, okay? Nothing else to explain there. They press W.
Now this fight's over now. Just gonna stall out a little bit more. I mean, they basically did what they had to do. They destroyed shield and they shattered. That's the one thing about the Orisa Sigma comp, is that in the end it is less shield health, so it is easier to get a shatter off. And especially if that Sigma shield is down, you know that they won't be able to block it for just a little bit. We see some switches coming in. Juice now on the McCree off the Bastion. Monster onto the Rhine as well. It's looking like a really good map so far.
Yeah, I'm surprised with the amount of farm mercy we're seeing on both of these sides here. I definitely wasn't expecting it to be so dominant throughout the series here. Once again, another barrage from Pixels here. However, it's immediately traded out. Although Monster being the loss of the fight there is, yeah, it's not really good for Deviant. However, they're making it work with just Wayward. You can tell, yeah, Monster's a feeder. You know, we have Wayward as our main tank. Monster's just...
And I do think the FAR is really good on offense here. Not as good on defense, but you know, Cookie's really making it work. They do have the barrage online still. We're gonna see if it gets any value.
Yeah, a lot of great high ground from the playground. Monster pulls a mid-fact Poco, gets like 2 with that fire strike, and then you can tell DreamWorks pushes just completely halted. Although ground control and Major Tom Cookie Bread getting absolutely blindsided by Pixels there, but it won't matter in the end as the res does come through.
So quickly, still have the barrage online. They're about to have shatter. I guess it really comes down to who can hit shatter first.
Yeah, that's right, it's the battle of the Q presses. Doesn't look like Tango finds much with his. Although the barrage from Cookie does, as it gets a lot of pressure done. Although Pixel, he looks like he wants to equalize, as he's very close to his barrage as well. Although the high noon couldn't deny a lot, but what it's not gonna deny is Defiance. It's Defiance loss here. Yeah, I don't know what it's.
Huge sleep on the side of DreamWorks, basically denying any of that barrage out. Although Tango doesn't find much of his shatter, he's able to make enough space for the rest of the team to push in, and I don't think they're going to be able to recontest on the side of Deviant.
Yeah, they shouldn't recontest here. However, it looks like Deviant, they're going for it. They don't want to die, and they go right into Pixel's barrage here. As both tanks eliminated, Deviant have to tie tail out of there once again. Interestingly enough, Juice swaps over to that Ash, although, interesting stuff.
Mob can be really useful for a recontest. I really would love to see Cookie swap off right now. Farah gets so little value indoors with that ceiling. Definitely at least less than she has previously in streets on the first point. Now we see Pixels on the Hanzo instead, so more shield break damage for them. Deviant just need to get it within under a minute if they want any chance of having a second tech. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck with a draw at best case scenario.
Yeah, it's already looking pretty rough as Monster almost feeds his life over. Yeah, you know, maybe Monster should donate to charity because he's just... DreamWorks just having an absolute famine right here. How the rest of Deviant are picking it up, and a massive bongo comes in, still allowing Deviant to provide a ton of pressure onto the comp of DreamWorks. And yeah, you can see Tango almost going down there. However, fantastic kill. What? Tango!
I don't know if he was booped off or if he slipped.
No, he just ran off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it made sense at that point. The rest of the team is out. He's just staggering at that point. It totally makes sense. Another thing I want to point out was on that second point defense, Deviant could have stalled out for at least a little bit longer. They will be able to get it to under a minute, so they will at least have another attack. But they could have probably brought that timing down a lot more than it is right now. There's the ball coming out.
Yeah, DreamWorks, they're kind of approaching the danger zone here. They try to just focus once more on the pressure game. Although once again, Monster gets a fat shatter off. They can't tell, like, it's almost like he has a permanent nano blade in his pocket. Every time he has it, they just win the fight.
Monster knows how to use that shatter, and he uses it well. It is coming down again to the wire. This is probably the last push for DreamWorks. If they want any chance of bringing the series back, they have to tie this map up right here. All they have is a square on line, very close to the Dragons and Shatter. We have the Barrage and the Valve on the side of the Deviant. It's gonna be down.
Yep. Yeah, Deviant just marching their way up, trying to make something happen. However, Cookie makes sure to shut that down right away as he gets 3 with that Barrage.
And yeah,
not much that DreamWorks can do. GGs are flying in chat, and Deviant will take the series 3-0.
Wow. Deviant came out so strong, and although this last map was a little bit more back and forth, they never stopped upsetting the defending champions. Incredible stuff we saw today. The 3-0 for Deviant.
Yeah, there were a lot of stellar plays on both teams. Obvious candidates are both of the main tanks on both sides. Both of them did a very good job. Or you know, I should say the main tank and the third DPS. As Monster, it's kind of just like, look at the 42 eliminations from him. I mean, not as much the 46 from Cookie, but like, you get the point there.
Absolutely. I mean, in the end of the day, the team is able to play around Monster pretty well, even though sometimes he is a little bit out of position, and they are able to use that aggressiveness to their advantage. They can push in, and they can just capitalize so well. Who do you think is the MVP of this game?
Honestly, despite the amazing plays that came out from Cookie and Monster there, honestly feel like Ruka kind of deserves, as Ruka was like, a few people had like spotty moments throughout this entire series. Like even like Monster, like you could tell he going a little over aggressive, a little feeding there. Cookie kind of staying on the far for like a little too long, I feel. However, Ruka was just overall consistent on all series long. Like, I honestly couldn't go there and find a single bad thing without having to sit down and analyze his every movements.
Yep. I mean, the nanos were on point. I think they were a little bit better than last match. The sleeps were insane. So many well-timed sleeps that led to kills. Antis were good as well. I think my runner-up would definitely be Wayward. Although Orisa maybe isn't as much of a hero, not as many amazing plays. The pulls are on point, so they'd be runner-up MVP. But Ruka has just been outstanding so far in this tournament, and I think they definitely deserve MVP.
Yep, and very shortly here we will talk with our MVP of the match.
Just a reminder that we have other games coming up after this. Next up, we are going to have Epoch Imperium taking on Dirt at 8 p.m. So stick around for that as well. Should be a great match.
Yeah, overall, some really fired up games here this week, or these next 2 days. Mm-hmm. Just like all of these teams, like at some point, have shown such greatness, and of course, like there's gonna be like off days. Like you can tell, DreamWorks, like something wasn't clicking in there today for them.
Absolutely. I mean, that first round bye can be a blessing or it can be a curse. You can be a little bit rest up, get a little bit more scrim time, but not knowing the hero pool ahead of time, you kind of have to just guess what's going to happen or try to play your best around what you already know. And maybe they just weren't warmed up because they were able to have that first round bye. Kind of came in cold and just weren't able to turn it on until it was a little bit too late.
All right, and we are here with our MVP, Ruka, the flex support for the Toronto Deviants. Now, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on such a fantastic victory over DreamWorks there. I'll say, how do you feel after that victory?
I feel pretty good. A 3-0 is definitely pretty impressive, especially against the former #1 seed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. What a feat. Now, going into that last map, it was a little dicey at some points. Can you run through what was kind of going through your guys' head on that 3rd-point defense?
Yeah, so like we were kind of getting kind of scared, right? The first point, they took that long 2-minute rotation. We were kind of building up confidence, and they kind of just started hard rolling into us during like the 2nd and 3rd point. But we managed to regain our grounds and come back.
Speaking of confidence, going up against the #1 seed, the previous winners, how much confidence do you guys have going into this match? Were you pumping yourselves up? Were you a little bit shaky at the start?
I think after the first map, like our confidence started to really go up, like pretty well.
Take us through.
I can tell Monster's confidence definitely went up.
Yeah.
Turned 100 a whole 3rd DPS.
Take us through Volskaya a little bit. You guys were so close to being full held on your attack. What clicked at the very end? Who really initiated that change to swap comps?
If I remember correctly, it would have been Monster calling the comps, and it was just like really helpful overall. But overall, it's just a good team effort, just swapping the comps, since it's just something that completely countered them.
All right, now on Lijiang and especially on King's Row there, we saw some very interesting stuff. Can you walk chat through the decision to go the whole Bastion?
Okay, the Bastion Simstat was Monster's idea. He decided to pull out the Bastion Simstats that we sometimes play, and it worked really well on the first point.
All right, and my last question might not be Intu's last question, but really quickly, who do you want to see next in the next round? Either going to play, I think, Epoch, Imperium, or Dirt.
I don't really know either of the teams too well, but I guess I'd want to play against Dirt.
Interesting.
All right, we'd like to thank you for having us. I'm sorry. We like to thank you for being here for this tournament. Do you have anything to say for your fans on Twitch?
Hi guys. Thank you for watching, I guess.
Well spoken. All right. I think that's it from us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Good luck in the next round.
Yep, and on that note, we would like to thank all of you guys for tuning in today for Toronto versus DreamWorks. And the next match will be Dirt versus Imperium. Make sure you stick around for that.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match. Be live in about 20-ish minutes, so we'll see you there.
Yep, this has been NTU and Jag, signing off.